Hey, how's it going? Today is 6th of December, Friday, and we're gonna be taking a look at a market, what kind of opportunities perhaps or developments we can find. In today's video, we're gonna only be taking a look at Lithuania and what's happening within Lithuania. I was taking a look at what's happening in UK. There are some developments, but in today's video, let's take a look at, no, let's reflect current station in Lithuania, right? Starting with perhaps energy, a very important market that would be Lithuania takes over ownership of LNG, liquefied natural gases carrier independence. It's the name of the carrier. It's an interesting name, I guess. Lithuania's flag was raised over LNG carrier independence, which arrived in Klaipėda a decade ago after the country took its ownership on Friday. Okay, sure. And then they're saying taking ownership, would that be purchasing this carrier? Since there are so many companies up there who can manufacture those. We were taking a look at those companies previously. Some of those contracts can be up to 60 carriers, and I don't know. I don't know. Perhaps there's massive market, and it seems that waiting time. So let's say some of those governments do have a lot of LNG, like Qatar, right? That would be one of those governments who do have a lot of those resources. Waiting time to be able to, if you are a government and you're looking to purchase liquefied natural gas from some of those governments, it give you 10 years waiting time. So the entire process is very slow. These points was raised by Hungary, since it's something that themselves are interested in. Cheap electricity if possible, right? So entire market might be kind of interesting, I guess. Lithuania's president, let's keep name, described the ship as symbol of energy resilience and all entire region. Sure, sure. It's just that independence, right? Over time, the vessel has become a symbol of Lithuania's political will, demonstrating our commitment to achieve energy independence. Nausėda said that the handover ceremony in Klaipėda. This project has transformed our energy vulnerability into straight and independence into autonomy, he added, right? The ceremony was also attended by Latvian, Estonian, and Polish presidents. The independence that would be perhaps the name of the carrier, which has previously sailed under Singapore's flag, has now been removed from the country's register and included in Lithuania's register sea-going ships. The ship was brought from Norwegian company, owned company, the 438 million, right? Very expensive, perhaps at least 10 years old, and insurance, all these kind of things. But anyway, small steps, right? Small steps, and some of those developments. So there might be alternative projects out there in the making when it comes to renewables and all different how to make sure that government would have enough or would be independent from energy, right? I was wondering how many of those carriers would need to travel in and out, right? 3 in a year, perhaps 4. So we can briefly take a look at that on how many LNG deliveries was completed last year. I believe it's about 8. This is how much energy we need for an entire year. Just a massive investment, right? I don't know if it's accurate information. Information I was looking for in 2023, how many shipments Lithuania have received. That would be 27 LNG shipments. LNG terminal will receive 39, so LNG carriers bringing in around 5.3 million cubic meters of LNG, million cubic meters of LNG, according to Kian recently exercised its options by but these numbers can easily go up, right? Depending on industry, heavy industry, and how much energy they would need. But roughly speaking, about 39, I would say perhaps even 50 would be reasonable amount. It's just how much of that industry the Lithuania might be interested in building up and the cost associated with operational cost, right? To put things into comparison, when Russia was pumping gas to Lithuania, it would take 4 hours for entire year to pump all the entire gas for years amount of gas would take 4 hours, and compare that to 39 LNG carriers, right? I was taking a look at who's managing Lithuania's oil, since there is oil, and I believe it's the same company that would be Poland's Orlen signs Lithuania's deal to boost LNG deliveries. Briefly, we weren't gonna be delving too deep into energy and perhaps currently prices. If you would ask me, way too high in Lithuania energy prices, right? But anyway, since they most likely the entire region is making a lot of investments and diversifying themselves, right? But prices are way too high currently. Polish top refined Orlen signed Wednesday a 5-year agreement with Lithuania Oil. I thought something that we were taking a look at previously, right? And gas logistics firm. Okay, let's progress without names. For exclusive use of waterfront liquefied natural gas (LNG) transshipment station in Klaipėda. The agreement focused on a small-scale gas supply, as LNG received as a station will be transformed via small ships and later on with trucks, opposed to oil tankers. The gas from Klaipėda will be sent to clients in northeast Poland and all other Baltic countries such as Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. Right. I'm just trying to make sense of this information. So if the port is in Klaipėda, perhaps from that port, it might be closer to send it to northeast Poland, maybe. Anyway, let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. Let's take a look at other statistics that Lithuania's government cuts quota for non-EU migrant workers. So would that be how many people would be able to come with work visas? I guess, but that would be just focusing on European. Perhaps there is a one criteria, and outside the EU there's a different criteria. The Lithuanian government is significantly cutting the quota of migrant workers from non-EU countries that businesses can bring in. The Minister of Social Security and all labor says priority should be on employing locally. When it comes to some of the very highly skilled software developers, right? There might be some risk associated with anything, right? But sometimes it could be very expensive to source that talent locally, right? There might be some statements, let's skip names, said that the quota of just over 24,000, let's say under 25,000 third country workers, so that would be perhaps a different way how it would be, why it's not the first would be Lithuania, second Europe, and the third would be anything outside Europe, I guess. Workers for 2025 is set according to the labor market situation. I don't know. I believe Lithuania could absorb, but again, energy prices, all these kind of sectors, right? IT skills, I would say perhaps Lithuania should be a little bit more ambitious when it comes to IT and development of entire sector. Since this haven't been overlooked by other governments like Germany. Germany is issuing this visas up to 90,000, I believe, to places like India. 90,000. Anyway, and perhaps if they know what they're doing, they can do it, right? You can see unemployment in Lithuania is around 7%. 150,000, maybe a little more people are not working, a little bit more. Okay. Sure. If it's been translated word by word, it's kind of interesting. If not all, but at last 100,000 of the people are looking for a new job or employment, where will be 100 million euros in a wage income every month. Outgoing minister told LRT radio. Okay, okay. We believe that the first priority should be in Lithuania, in Calvaria and Ignalina, where unemployment is over 12%. We can certainly bring people from there. It's kind of more complex, but okay. And it's not necessary to bring people from Central Asia, which is the most popular region at the moment. Okay, so perhaps there are two different regions most popular. Places like where with a high population density, that would be places in Africa like Nigeria, that kind of area. One of the most populated countries in Africa, and all when it comes to Central Asia, perhaps after India, I would say perhaps other governments do have the very skilled professionals in particular STEAM subjects. That would be perhaps Nigeria or surrounding areas, IT professionals, as well as there might be India, STEAM subjects, and or perhaps China, right? Singapore. All these governments might have very skilled professionals. But again, what are the salaries? We're not discussing all these kind of things. But they preferring to hire locally sourced talent, right? The degree drafted by Social Security and Labor Minister proposed to admit 24,839 uni nationals in work in 2005, down from current quota of about 40,000, so it's almost half. Just yesterday, I was taking a look at a documentary of people investing in different regions. I was taking a look at a documentary which was published by someone from Europe or Germany. The name of the documentary is The Land Grab, as well as how some entrepreneurs would develop some of these countries, like I believe it might be Kenya, and they would grow a lot of fresh produce in those countries, and they would pay 24 euros in a month. So this is how much they would pay there. So perhaps there is more to that. That's not being discussed, right? Lithuania's logistical companies has already said they will move their operations to neighboring countries because of the low quota. The International Transport and Logistics, okay, let's skip names, proposed maximum quota of around 40,000, according to our organizations, allowing an additional 15,000 workers will result getting paying 112 million euros more in tax in 2025. Until now, the 40,000 annual quota has been used to bring in workers under professional conditions. But Lithuania's parliament, Seimas, has decided to set a criteria limit. The annual quota for third country workers can exceed 1.4% of Lithuania's permanent population. Sure, sure. If you have a formula, great. It just, as it's been highlighted, right, some of the businesses need way more staff. I would say Lithuania perhaps and all entire Europe should focus more on technology sector, software development, and all the supporting systems, right? Like cybersecurity sector, all these kind of sectors would be way forward, and how to scale automation, all these kind of things, right? And I don't think it's been taken into account. Something I'm saying. While taking a look at these numbers and where to source those professionals, highly skilled professionals, none of that I believe has been taken into account other than logistical sectors or no hard sectors, right? As well as energy prices in Lithuania, right? Let's progress. Let's take a look at the next article. We can only perhaps take a look at another two articles or so, otherwise this video is going to be too long. We can take a look at Lithuanians government's direction when it comes to one of the trade right partnerships with China first, and perhaps we can touch on United States as well. Lithuania's government program, new China direction, social economic policy key points. Lithuania's income social democrat-led government has revealed its draft program outlining the key priorities over the next 4 years. Here are key points. Keep in mind the final program is still due to be approved by the parliament next week. Meanwhile, official cabinet handover will be take place on 12th so far, then December 12th. So far, the president has also only approved 10 out of 12 candidates, right? So entire thing is in a working sense, not final, right? Let's take a look at China or foreign policy, right? There might be a name. I previously said will strive to improve relations with Beijing and will restore full diplomatic ties after China has downgraded them and will recall its ambassadors. Ties between two countries deteriorated after Lithuania allowed Taiwan to open de facto embassy under its own name, which angered China, right? With all this happening, just trying to imagine when you need to build up entire inventory, when you need to buy something from there or sell something there. Current situation might be very risky, but perhaps there might be some actions that government can take. However, the incoming foreign minister, let's keep name, who is currently chief security advisor of the president, said that, well, okay, okay, sure, okay, let's progress. I don't think. There is more work that can be done, but anyway. In the draft program, that income government pledged to develop economic and non-cultural ties with Taiwan due to China's becoming growing challenge for Lithuania's foreign security policy. And when it comes to Beijing, Vilnius, or capital of Lithuania, will see UN or transatlantic unity in shaping relations with China, right? There is more to it, right? And if Lithuania is saying that they already did a lot, and there might be something that China can do, perhaps when it comes to some of the trade relationships, but most likely they are using third parties when it comes to the negotiation and placing a lot of pressure. I think that's what's really happening. But anyway, let's progress. When it comes to defense, government draft program calls for allocating at last 5% of GDP to defense, as well as being ready to time to host a 4,000 strong German brigade by the late 2027. In terms of Ukraine, the government has pledged to allocate no less than 0.25 of the current GDP for aid. Defense issue will also expand the health sector, with the government pledging to allocate an official to deal with the health systems preparation for military threats. Sure. Entire subjects, I don't know that much, but seems very debatable. Social welfare and education. In short, the incoming government says it will place more emphasis on welfare, with more child benefits and all better associated health service and education. Since we were starting, these articles have started by taking a look at what's happening when it comes to China and how many points. I don't know how that's related to China. Anyway, let's close at this point. Since I would like to debate every point, and in every point it seems that no one's actually discussing anything. Let's take a look at United States. MFA approved the action plan to deepen Lithuania-U.S. strategic partnership. Lithuania Foreign Minister has approved action plan for implementation strategic guidance on relations with the United States over the next 2 years. Action plan for 2025-27 was developed based on strategic guidelines for Lithuania-US relations, which were approved by the government in mid-May, has been coordinated with relevant state institutions and all bodies, the minister said in the press release on Tuesday. Let's take a look at perhaps there might be some developments. According to outgoing foreign minister, let's keep name, the plan is to contribute to ensuring long-term bilateral political, economic, or security cooperation, promoting parliamentary diplomacy, and or developing relations with individuals, U.S. states. Okay. Reasonable. Okay. Geopolitical challenges in the world, Russia's aggression against Ukraine and the increasingly aggressive behavior of China and all other autocratic regimes. whichever woman was writing this article, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if I'm reading it properly, but the way how it's written, it's a lot of fun. Encourage us to further unite our efforts with the United States and other like-minded countries. He said in the press release, the aim of our plan is to detail objectives and take outlined in the strategic guidelines to develop cooperations with the United States, as well as set timelines and assign responsibilities for implementing specific measures. The strategy include 50 proposals and all recommendations on how Lithuania could strengthen its cooperation with the United States. So just trade, right? Just if they would focus on trade and perhaps trade agreements, right? And not necessarily just US. I don't know why Lithuania would be limiting themselves. Just with US, perhaps there should be way more work that could be done, right? They include gradually bringing Lithuania's defense spending closer to US level, which stood at close to 3.5% of GDP last year. The strategy also calls for growing US investment and more business expansion in Lithuania, which focus on attracting major US companies, especially in the life science, information and communication technology and advanced engineering sectors. As I mentioned previously, right, as well as seems that they weren't gonna have enough people. How are they gonna hire these people? Anyway, that's closing that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.